Hello, leader. Epic communication fails. Ugh. Everyone has them. Some people seem to have them over and over again. Some instances are cringeworthy, and yet again, some people rarely mess it up. That's what today's episode is all about. How do you ensure you don't damage your working relationships by paying attention and creating new habits for speaking to your team? Welcome to the Stacking Your Team podcast. There's no doubt about it. You are in the right place because this show is all about expanding your leadership and team impact through proven tools and strategies that work well for you, that service-based small business owner. You don't have an in-house training and development department, venture capital, or a pool table in the cafeteria, and many of you likely have a remote team. But one thing is clear, you're wanting to improve how you lead your team. So welcome. I'm your host, Shelley Warren, coming to you from behind the mic in Canada, where I share proven practical tools and coaching designed to save you time, boost your confidence, and improve your effectiveness to lead. Let's get into it. Sometimes when I'm listening to podcasts, I hear people refer to their team members with labels that make my toes curl. I was once listening to this guy who you would all know, he's kind of a big deal. Well, in certain circles anyways. He referred to his right-hand, highest paid team member, the one who was literally running the business for him so that he could be out and about doing visibility activities, as his, are you ready for this? His deputy. Oh, he lost me right there. I pulled over and deleted the episode from my feed. I felt so bad for that team member who may have been tuning in and listening, or worse yet, maybe this was normal for him to call them by that label. It's so derogatory, and I think he believes it was a compliment. But is it? And it left me wondering, does he consider himself the sheriff? Good grief. Now, if you've listened to this podcast since I first hit the airwaves over 5 years ago, you may have noticed that I do not use the word employee. Nope. I save that term for describing an employee handbook full of policies and guidelines. That's it. My normal way of describing people at work is, yes, you did notice, team. Here's why. I learned decades ago through my own work experience and paying attention to how certain leaders made me feel by realizing that I like being part of a team, being seen as someone who is adding value to a team, and then learning how to lead a team. Being an employee felt like being lumped into a diminishing category, and it always felt like as an employee, I couldn't have any influence. But as a team member, I could, should, and would. I guess I felt more capable of having an impact as a team member rather than an employee with a payroll number or an ID number that was used to identify me. I mean, come on. I still had a payroll number, I still had an ID number, and even a badge number, but that's not what I identified with. No, my identity was linked to what team I belonged to and who was my leader and what was the work that we all got to make happen every day. That's what drove me, kept me interested, and motivated all those years. Do you think I'm weird? I don't. I think most people at work want to feel like a part of something bigger than themselves. And who doesn't want to feel like their point of view matters? Yeah, everyone does. Now, you've likely heard this simplified definition of leadership, meaning leadership is influence. I like that one because it's inclusive, but there's a watch out. Having influence as a leader is true for those who are having a negative effect on people and outcomes, as well as those who are having a positive effect on people and outcomes. Scary, but true. Now, I know that you're focused on being that leader and building other leaders who have a positive influence on people, processes, and profit. And that's why you tune in here each week. So one way in which you can immediately and directly influence how people feel when they're around you and assure them that they would want to be a part of any team you're leading is to consider how you speak to them. Here are a few epic communication fails that turn people off, break trust, and weaken their respect for you because of how your words made them feel. Let's go over these incredibly common terms and phrases that people use at work. I'm astonished how normal it is in so many workplaces to adopt these, and then how many people accept it and then pass it along throughout the team. Now, here's the paradigm shift I'd like you to consider today. Instead of saying my employees, my workers, my staff, my minions, or my deputy, or my people, refer to them as your team members. It creates a much better sense of belonging for everyone, regardless of how long they've been a team member or what role they have. Here's another quick one. Instead of saying, come work for me, try come join me, or I'd love to have you join the team. This creates a sense of collaboration and working together on something special. And another term that I never use, other than in a joking or mocking manner, is the word boss. I used to hear my team members introduce me to their family as, this is my boss, Shelley. And I immediately respond by saying, we work together, or your dad and I work together. The word boss has never resonated with me, nor has lady boss, girl boss, boss babe, biz boss, or anything like that. It's just not me, and it's never been the relationship that I want to foster with people. Leaders know that they aren't above anyone else. They may have had a different experience, and they're in a different role, but they get it that without a team, they're simply not very effective or impactful, which leads to this last one that I'll share with you today. People don't work under you. They work alongside you. Now, I know where this comes from. It's your traditional org chart that shows you at the top and everyone else underneath you. Now, don't get me wrong. I am a fan of org charts, and you hear me harp on and on about why it's important to have two versions, a current state and a future state, that you can always decide on who your next best hire is. However, it's how you talk about the people who have chosen to join your team that matters. Members of the Leadership Lab often ask me what to say and how to say it. And I appreciate that because it shows me that they're taking how they communicate with people very seriously. They want to build people up, not tear them down. And they know their words are a big factor in how their team members feel about them and the business. So writing scripts, words, and phrases to help our members mend or accelerate a relationship, or maybe roll out something important, or provide some tough feedback, well, it's my jam, and I've always honored that they ask me for help. Choosing to speak differently with your team is a worthwhile habit to form. Your team will notice, and before you know it, they'll start speaking to each other the same way. And that's how we build a strong team culture that fosters a high level of respect for everyone. And bonus, when we make it normal to speak kindly to each other at work, it spills over into our lives, and it simply becomes who we are. We're getting ready to welcome new members into our new program. It's called Leadership Lab 101. Will I get to work alongside you there? I sure hope so. Let's transform your business, starting with your small team in this fast-track program. Get all the details with the link that's in your show notes. You know, leadership can be exciting, challenging, and lonely at times. So don't go it alone. Let me help you create the team and the leadership structure that you've been craving. So until next time, remember, if you have a dream, you need a team. So let's get stacking yours today.